Hey everybody, welcome back to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. This is going to be episode number 46 of my slasher movie archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for The Slasher is the Sex Maniac, also known as So Sweet, So Dead, released in 1972. One day, you'll get closer to the violence of death, but this is as far as we dare to take you with any hopes of bringing you back. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. A naked woman is found murdered and mutilated in a prosperous small province town in southern Italy. But who killed her and why? Inspector Capuana investigates what turns out to be a string of savage murders in which unfaithful women are targeted as they play around behind their husbands' backs. Now, the killer, who wears a black fedora, gloves, and a trench coat as he stalks and photographs his victims, is becoming more relentless in his depraved quest to purge the world of what he believes to be immoral souls. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one, I had an absolute blast watching The Slasher is the Sex Maniac. This one is going to come highly recommended if you are into Italian Giallo style slasher movies. For me personally, I was totally into this one. Simply put, it's a story about unfaithful women committing adultery and paying the ultimate price. It's wild because they know that there's a killer on the loose killing unfaithful women. It's not a secret, but even with this information, they still can't help themselves. They just can't stop. The temptation is just too much to resist. It's worth them risking their lives. And paying with their lives, they do. I have the Code Red Blu-ray release of the film. I think it's a very solid release. The audio is very good, even though there is a little fuzz or static that can be heard at the very beginning of the movie. It didn't affect my overall enjoyment of the movie. It goes away pretty quick, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. I just thought it was worth mentioning. And speaking of the audio, I thought the score of the movie was absolutely fantastic. The image quality of the movie is stunningly beautiful for a film that was released in 1972. The Blu-ray itself only has Play Movie or Play Trailers as an option. The trailers consist of several Italian films, and it's always nice to have the trailers. There's nothing wrong with having more options. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the characters we have in The Slasher is the Sex Maniac. In this one, we follow Inspector Capuana, who is investigating a series of grisly murders in a prosperous small province town in southern Italy. So, the murders are all happening to higher-class civilians who seem to run in the same circle of people. It almost seems like a everybody knows everybody type deal. Capuana's approach is to throw out the net and pull all the bad fish in and see what they come up with. Obviously, his investigation is way more detailed than that. He knows his adversary is very intelligent, who he believes sees himself as a moral avenger, killing off unfaithful women.
Who are you?
You know very well. I'm sorry I can't give you my name.
I'm the Avenger, the one you insist upon calling a maniac.
He believes the killer knows all of his victims' dirty secrets. He knows who their lovers are and where they meet. Capuana must figure out why the killer photographs the victims with their lovers and leaves the photos on or around the victim's body. He also has to figure out why the faces of the male lovers have all been scratched out of the photos. That's a pretty deep dive on Inspector Capuana's character and what he's up against. As far as the other characters go, we have Capuana's wife Barbara, and then we have a group of characters who run in the same social circles, who we see engaged in sexual acts. You know, cheating women and their lovers. And then we have an assortment of characters who are assisting Capuana with his investigation, such as Professor Caselli, who acts as more or less as a coroner, who has an assistant who specializes in cleaning up the wounds and preparing the bodies for the funeral. Overall, I really enjoyed these characters quite a bit, especially Inspector Capuana, as he tries to put the pieces together to solve this murder mystery. I thought the acting was really solid for an Italian Giallo-style slasher movie, This movie is very sleazy and features a lot of nudity, so the actors were really putting in the work. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. In this one, we have a killer who wears a black fedora, black gloves, and a black trench coat. His face is blacked out with what appears to be a woman's stocking. At least that's what it appears to be. But the important part is that his identity is hidden. It's a classic look with a familiar style that has been used before, but it really works. It reminds me a lot of The Killer in Blood and Black Lace. This entire movie is very similar to that one. At least that's how it felt to me. I really like that the killer leaves a calling card, so to speak. He leaves photographs on or around the victims' bodies and scratches out the faces of the male participants to hide their identity. He sees himself as a moral avenger, and he just so happens to be my own personal hero. He is enraged by women committing adultery. Mess around and find out. I just love a good whodunit murder mystery. As far as the kills go, the movie has a pretty decent body count with around 6 or 7 kills, if you include the naked dead body at the opening of the movie that's being investigated. The killer's weapon of choice is a switchblade, and a lot of the kills are very similar. We get frantic slashings and stabbings with the sharp blade. We get quite a bit of that groovy 1970s blood. Overall, I really enjoyed The Slasher is the Sex Maniac, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is a fan of Italian Giallo style slasher movies. IMDb give The Slasher is the Sex Maniac a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Remember, evil never dies, it rests a while. It watches, it waits. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie, for a new video each and every Saturday night as evil takes back the night. Please comment below and let me know if you have seen The Slasher is the Sex Maniac, or just let me know what you think of the video. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.